Admiral Helena Riker stood alone at the edge of the Earth Command war table, a rotating hologram of the Sol system glimmering beneath her hands. The chamber around her hummed with quiet efficiency, analysts updating fleet readiness reports, tactical officers discussing projected supply routes, AI assistants whispering logistics updates. It should have been a normal morning. She skimmed a datapad filled with reactor cycle diagnostics for the Nemesis prototypes. Fault tolerances, quantum fold stress curves, numbers she knew better than most. A faint smile touched the corner of her lips. Humanity had climbed far in 12 short years. Farther than anyone had expected. Then the lights flickered. Helena looked up. A soft, bass-heavy beep echoed through the command hall, an emergency override signal none of them had ever heard. Dozens of screens flashed white. Officers paused mid-sentence. A ripple of unease traveled across the room. "Admiral," Lieutenant Sorrell said, worry lining her face. That wasn't us. Someone just hijacked every global channel." Before Helena could respond, the screens snapped back to life. The Earth Command emblem vanished, replaced by the blood-red sigil of the Galactic Empire. A chill rolled through the entire command hall. A tall, skeletal figure stepped into frame, the Imperial throne chamber behind him dripping with violent opulence. Emperor Valksur Ronkal's voice carried the cold precision of an executioner delivering a sentence long decided. "Citizens of the galaxy," Valksur proclaimed, "witness the cleansing of a threat species." Helena's fingers tightened around the edge of the war table. The feed changed. Not a speech. Not a warning. A massacre. 14 human colony worlds. Helena recognized each one instantly, filled the screens. Families running. Sirens blaring. Children clinging to parents. Then came the orbital fire. Planetary shields collapsed like glass. Entire cities evaporated under white-hot beams. The sky burned. The sound, transmitted across massive distances, was a chorus of screaming, collapsing structures, and crackling plasma storms. An officer dropped to his knees, hands shaking. Another covered her mouth in horror. The screaming grew louder. A colony governor held a child in her arms, shielding him as the blast swept through them. The image froze on their final moment before dissolving into static. Helena did not blink. Her jaw locked, her pulse steady despite the storm inside her. She forced herself to watch every second. Every life extinguished. Every injustice. The broadcast shifted back to Valksur. "For crimes of rebellion, for refusal to surrender, 99 million humans have been eliminated." His lips curled in a monarch's smile. "Earth is advised to comply with Imperial demands or suffer the same fate. You have 1 cycle to kneel." The screen went dark. Silence consumed Earth Command. A silence heavier than gravity itself. Helena's voice broke it. "Lieutenant," she said quietly, "confirm death toll." Sorrell's throat bobbed as she swallowed. "The numbers they match the Imperial transmission. 99 million confirmed or presumed killed." Gasps spread across the room. Brigadier Holland wiped tears from his face. "My sister was on Vargas Prime." Helena exhaled slowly. Not in defeat. Not in grief. In control. "Open a secure line to the World Senate." The lieutenant stared. "Ma'am, the Senate hasn't convened. The broadcast only ended seconds ago." "Exactly," Helena replied. "They'll be alive. And they'll answer." She turned toward the main viewport. The blue arc of Earth glowed softly against the black. Home. Billions unknowingly carrying on with their day, children walking to school, workers boarding transports, lovers meeting for breakfast, unaware that nearly 100 million of their brothers and sisters had been erased. The Senate connection blinked to life. Faces appeared, leaders from every nation, shaken but present. "Admiral Riker," Chairwoman Alvarez spoke first. "You saw it?" "Yes," Helena said simply. "And your assessment?" Helena didn't hesitate. "Humanity is already at war. We must acknowledge it." Murmurs filled the channel. One representative slammed his palm onto the table. "This is extermination. They want to wipe us out. Another added. We can't win. They control half the galaxy. Chairwoman Alvarez leaned forward. Admiral, what is your recommendation? Helena lifted her chin. Activate Total War Protocol. The chamber exploded in argument. That protocol was never meant. We don't have the resources. It'll devastate the global economy. They just murdered 99 million! Someone roared. Helena waited. She didn't yell. She didn't plead. She simply waited for the noise to die, then spoke with quiet finality. Your economies won't matter if Earth becomes the 15th dead world today. Silence. Chairwoman Alvarez finally nodded. The vote will commence. It lasted only seconds. Every representative raised a hand. The decision was unanimous. Earth chose war. Helena returned to the command hall as the global alarms sounded. Factory districts shifted into emergency military production modes. FTL shipyards lit up with new priority orders. Satellites reconfigured their networks. Billions of civilians turned on their devices and saw the truth: humanity was under extermination order. And behind the panic, behind the grief, something else began spreading across the planet like a rising storm. Fury. Helena entered the deepest vault in Earth Command. Retinal scan. DNA match. Neural codeword. The doors parted, revealing a circular chamber glowing with cold blue light. Inside lay Operation Godhand. The files unlocked one by one. Quantum fold engine diagrams. Nemesis-class dreadnought schematics. The complete Phantom 9 infiltration profiles. Black-budget technologies unknown to the galaxy. A decade of hidden preparation. Earth had planned for this moment. Not because they wanted war, but because they always knew an empire built on fear would eventually fear them. A soft voice spoke behind her. You knew this day might come, didn't you? Helena turned. Chairwoman Alvarez had followed her inside. I knew they'd push, Helena replied. I didn't know they'd slaughter millions on camera. Alvarez's eyes glistened. Can we win? Helena walked to the main console. A hologram of the Nemesis fleet rose before them, sleek black giants far deadlier than any council vessel. We don't need to win a long war, Helena said. We need to hit them hard enough that they can't continue one. And if we fail? We won't. Alvarez nodded slowly. Then you will command Earth's forces. Helena accepted without ceremony. She felt the weight of every lost life settle on her shoulders, but she also felt the fire that came with it. She opened a secure channel to every screen on Earth. This is Admiral Helena Riker, she began, voice steady, eyes unwavering. Today the Galactic Empire murdered 99 million of our people. They believed fear would break us. They were wrong. She paused. The world held its breath. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not yield. From this moment forward, Earth stands in a state of total war. Across the planet, billions rose to their feet. We will answer for every life taken, Helena said. And we will never, ever, be threatened again. The broadcast ended. Helena looked once more at the vastness of space. Somewhere out there, an empire believed it had crushed humanity. They would soon learn what kind of species they had provoked. And Helena Riker vowed it would be the last mistake they ever made. Earth did not sleep after the broadcast. The world moved as if possessed by a single purpose. The shock had burned away. What remained was resolve sharpened into steel. Admiral Helena Riker walked through the primary hangar of the orbital shipyard Nexus, where the largest construction platforms circled Earth like silent titans. Below her, a forest of machines roared, massive arms welding armor plates, quantum reactors being lowered into waiting hulls, engineers shouting orders through comms. The Nemesis-class dreadnought Vengeance dominated the center. Its black alloy reflected the hangar lights like a dormant predator waiting to wake. Chief Engineer Danvers met her at the lift platform. His face was pale from lack of sleep, but his eyes held determination. You should have seen the volunteers, Danvers said. We asked for 500 engineers. We got 30,000. People need to fight, Helena replied. And this is how they fight. Her gaze swept across the hull. Status? Danvers straightened. Quantum fold engine is stable. Gravity lances are operational. The Vengeance can deploy within hours. Good. Helena glanced at her wrist display as new alerts flashed in. The Empire is already massing a fleet near Saturn. They want to break us before we find our footing. Danvers exhaled slowly. Then we need to hit them first. Helena nodded once. Prepare the ship. 30 minutes later, Helena stepped onto the command bridge of the Vengeance, feeling its quiet hum resonate beneath her boots. Officers stood at their stations, faces tight, focused. Lieutenant Sorrel reported immediately. Imperial fleet emerging from FTL near Titan. 70 capital ships, hundreds of escorts. They're testing how fast we bleed, Commander Hale muttered. They'll learn we do not bleed quietly, Helena replied. She walked to the central command podium as the holodeck generated a live tactical feed. The Empire's formation appeared in red, dense, aggressive, confident. Humanity's response fleet appeared in blue, smaller, but coiled like a hidden blade. Begin Phase 1, Helena ordered. The Vengeance shuddered as engines warmed. Gravity distortions rippled outward, bending space around the ship. The fleet followed her lead, vanishing behind Titan's shadow. Sorrel glanced up. Ma'am, sensors confirm the enemy lost track of us. They're scanning the wrong sector. Helena folded her arms. Phase 2. The Vengeance slid from Titan's dark side like a phantom. The rest of Earth's fleet followed, sleek cruisers, destroyers, and corvettes forming a precise spearhead. Weapons ready, Hale said. Not yet. Helena watched the Empire fleet drift forward, unaware. They're overconfident. Let them settle. The moment stretched. Then Helena lowered her hand. Fire! Gravity lances erupted in blinding arcs, white threads that tore space itself. They struck the Imperial front line before any evasive action could be taken. 3 capital ships disintegrated instantly, collapsing into shimmering dust. Others cracked open as their hulls bent unnaturally under gravitational stress. Sorrel gasped. Direct hits. Enemy fleet in total disarray. Push forward, Helena commanded. Stay inside their blind angles. The Vengeance cut across the enemy formation, firing with surgical precision. Each lance hit a vital node: reactor cores, command bridges, shield pylons. Imperial officers scrambled to regain order, but chaos spread faster than their directives. On an open frequency, an alien voice broke in, shaky, panicked. Human vessels, cease fire! This technology is forbidden! You cannot possess. Helena muted him. Another wave of fire lanced through the battlefield. Imperial ships tried to retaliate, but their beams missed, unable to track the unpredictable movements of Helena's fleet. Within minutes, the Empire's formation collapsed. Commander Hale scanned his board. They're retreating. 14 ships remain capable of FTL. Let them run, Helena said. They'll carry the message. Her officers exchanged grim looks. Humanity had not just resisted, they had shattered a superior force in their first engagement. The Empire had expected a wounded animal. Instead, they found a sleeping giant had awakened. While the wreckage drifted through Saturn's orbit, Helena returned to Earth Command for a strategic conference. The halls were buzzing with analysts reviewing the battle. General Imani met her outside the conference chamber. The whole planet saw the victory. Public morale spiked. People are talking about retaliation. They want justice, Helena said. We'll give it to them. But smartly. Inside the chamber, dozens of holograms flickered to life, representatives from every colony, military leaders, intelligence chiefs. At the table's head, Chairwoman Alvarez motioned for silence. Admiral Riker, she said, your analysis of the battle? Helena stood tall. The Empire underestimated us. Their losses will force a response. They'll mobilize on a massive scale, and they'll do it fast. We need to stay ahead. An intelligence officer stepped forward. We intercepted encrypted Imperial chatter. They're preparing punitive strikes across the outer colonies. They want to stretch us thin, Helena said. Which means we need to strike before they can regroup. The room fell quiet. Then Helena activated a new display. A hologram of an immense data tower rose into view, the Imperial Data Spire, located deep in the Empire's core territory. This, Helena said, is where they store records of strategic operations, political orders, classified archives. If we access that, we learn everything: fleet deployments, weaknesses, and most importantly, their true motives. General Imani frowned. You're suggesting infiltration. I'm assigning Phantom 9. Helena's voice carried an edge. If the Empire has more atrocities planned, we need to know. Chairwoman Alvarez folded her hands. We trust your judgment. Proceed. Hours later, Helena met Phantom 9 in the stealth hangar, 9 soldiers in adaptive cloaks that bent the light around them. No insignias. No names. Only the mission. Their leader, a man known simply as Ghost, stepped forward. Admiral. Your target is the Data Spire, Helena said. Extract everything on human relations, military strategies, and classified directives. We need proof of long-term intent. Ghost nodded. We'll return with the truth. You must. Helena met each masked face. The galaxy needs to see what the Empire really is. Ghost saluted once, silently. Then the team vanished into their dropship. By the time Helena returned to the Bridge of the Vengeance, new alerts awaited her. The Phantom 9 signal had reached the Empire's border undetected. Any news? Hale asked. They're in, Helena said. Now we wait. Admiral, Sorrel said suddenly. We're receiving a priority transmission from Phantom 9. Helena turned sharply. Put it through. Ghost's voice crackled through the speaker, steady, but edged with something darker than before. Admiral, the Spire contains full records of the genocide. It wasn't a punishment. It was a scheduled operation. They planned to eliminate humanity 10 years ago. Helena's stomach tightened. Send everything you found, she said. There's more, Ghost continued. They've done this to other species. Erased entire civilizations, then erased the evidence. The command bridge fell silent. Helena spoke softly, but every syllable carried lethal weight. Understood. Return home. She closed the channel and faced her crew. We now know the truth, she said. They won't stop. They intend to erase us. All of us. Sora whispered. So what do we do? Helena stepped forward, eyes burning with purpose. We take the war to them. The next phase of Operation Godhand began. Humanity would no longer fight for survival alone. They would fight for justice. The galaxy dimmed as humanity's fleets emerged from the dark between stars. Not because the light faltered, because the balance of power shifted. For 10 millennia, the Galactic Empire had expanded without fear of reprisal. Now, an enemy they believed beneath them struck with precision that defied every expectation. Admiral Helena Riker stood at the center of the Vengeance's bridge as her fleet completed simultaneous quantum-fold jumps into 12 Imperial shipyard sectors. Space rippled around each dreadnought, releasing them into hostile territory with flawless timing. Phase 1 complete, Lieutenant Sorrel reported. All strike groups have arrived. Commander Hale zoomed the tactical holomap. Imperial defenses are active but scattered. They didn't expect deep incursions this soon. They thought we'd hide in Seoul, Helena said. They always mistake caution for fear. She raised her hand. Begin the offensive. The fleet moved with frightening coordination. Human cruisers descended on orbital shipyards, their gravity lances slicing through dry dock superstructures. Destroyers targeted fuel depots, severing supply networks in minutes. Every attack was calculated: cripple production, avoid civilian zones. The first shipyard collapsed into a cascading ring of sparks. The second detonated as reactors breached. By the time the Empire mobilized a coherent response, half of their forward construction capacity had evaporated. Group Delta reports successful destruction of Shipyard 47, Sorrel said. Minimal resistance. Group Kappa is withdrawing from Sector Ari Lion. They've knocked out 2 foundries. Helena nodded. Signal all groups, maintain pressure and fall back before reinforcements arrive. I want no one trapped behind enemy lines. A voice cut through comms, an Imperial commander, breathless. Human forces, cease fire. These facilities support Imperial stability. You are destabilizing the Gal. Hale muted the transmission. They didn't complain about destabilization when they killed 99 million of ours. Helena's expression hardened. We're not here for their speeches. The operation unfolded with ruthless efficiency. Within hours, the Empire found itself in a logistical crisis. Their war machine, once unstoppable, now trembled on fractured foundations. But Helena knew this was just the beginning. The Empire wouldn't fall quietly. The Imperial response arrived faster than expected. Sorrel stiffened as sensors screamed alarms. Massive quantum surge at Arcturon. Multiple Titan-class signatures inbound. The holomap zoomed out, revealing shapes so large they eclipsed nearby moons, planet-sized war platforms known as Titan Leviathans. Each carried enough firepower to turn continents into glass. Hale exhaled sharply. They brought the monsters. Of course they did, Helena said. This is their true strength. The Titan Leviathans drifted into formation, their armor glowing with containment fields. Energy signatures spiked. Entire dreadnought squads could fit inside a single Leviathan hangar. Sorrel's voice trembled despite her discipline. They outmass us 100 to 1. Mass isn't everything, Helena replied. Prepare the formation. The Vengeance turned toward the behemoths, gravity lances warming to critical output. The rest of the fleet aligned into a tight wedge formation, distributing power through a shared tactical grid. Ready, Hale said. Helena gave no speech. She simply said, Engage. The battle erupted in a storm of violence. Gravity lances skewered the nearest Leviathan, tearing through its outer superstructure. The beast retaliated with antimatter beams that carved glowing scars across human cruisers. One destroyer took a direct hit and vanished in a flash of white. Left flank destabilizing, Sorrel called. Reinforce with Echo Squadron, Helena ordered. Echo Squadron dove beneath the Leviathan's firing arcs, launching compressed singularity rounds into exposed venting ports. The rounds imploded, rupturing internal components. A shockwave rippled across the vessel. Hale clenched his jaw. That's one destabilized. Not enough, Helena said. Coordinate lance convergence on Node 7. Target weak points only. The fleet shifted as one. Dozens of gravity lances converged, forming a luminous spear that pierced the Leviathan's central core. The platform convulsed, power systems collapsing in a chain reaction. The Titan Leviathan erupted in a cosmic fireball that lit the entire sector. Cheers erupted on the bridge, but Helena raised her voice before they grew loud. Focus! 2 more incoming! The remaining Leviathans advanced, launching swarms of interceptors. Helena's fleet tightened formation, losses mounting. A cruiser exploded near the Vengeance, scattering debris across their shields. Hale looked to Helena. We're losing ships. Helena steadied her breathing. Redirect power to the dorsal lances. Fire on my mark. She waited, calculating distances, predicting trajectories, watching power curves spike. Now. The dorsal lances fired in synchronized bursts, bending space across a wide arc. The distortion sheared off a massive section of the closest Leviathan's hull. Internal segments collapsed, and the beast drifted helplessly. Finish it, Helena ordered. Moments later, it fell silent. The final Leviathan charged its primary cannon, a dark sphere forming at its apex. The air on the bridge hummed, the weapon's power enough to crack a moon. Sorrel's voice wavered. If that fires, we lose half the fleet. Helena didn't blink. All ships focus fire. Overload the core. Every gravity lance roared at once. For a breathless moment, nothing happened. Then the Leviathan ruptured inward, imploding under overwhelming gravitational stress, collapsing into a dense, burning sphere before vanishing into a singularity flicker. Silence fell. Enemy forces neutralized, Hale reported. Helena took a slow breath. Signal all remaining ships. Begin regrouping. Casualty reports to command once stabilized. Her leg buckled slightly as she stepped from the podium, pain blooming where shrapnel struck her earlier during the battle. Sorrel noticed. Admiral, you're injured. Helena waved her off. Later. We're not done. Hours later, as fires cooled around Arcturon, Helena stepped into the Vengeance's strategy chamber. Phantom 9's returning transmission awaited her. Ghost's image materialized. We succeeded. The Data Spire's shield grid collapsed long enough for extraction. Imperial security is scrambling. What did you find? Helena asked. Ghost projected a digital archive. Imperial genocide protocols. Plans for future exterminations. Forbidden technologies developed through enslaved species. Evidence of deliberate disinformation campaigns across the galaxy. Helena's breath tightened. This is worse than we feared. There's more, Ghost said. The Emperor has activated Protocol Excision. He intends to wipe out rebellious sectors, entire planetary clusters. Helena clenched her fists. He panics when his power is threatened. What are your orders? Ghost asked. Helena stared at the archive. Prepared to breach the throne world. Ghost nodded. We'll open the gate. Within a day, the assault fleet arrived on the Imperial throne world's outskirts. Riots raged across the surface, citizens rising after learning the truth. Phantom 9 leaked through shadow channels. Phantom 9 disabled the planetary shield with surgical precision. The human fleet descended. Landing zones are open, Hale confirmed. Resistance is heavy. Then we push harder, Helena said. Human shock units stormed the palace. Helena moved with her command squad, striking swiftly through elite guards. The palace shook as explosions echoed through the corridors. At the final sealed door, Helena stopped. This ends now. The doors parted. Emperor Valxer stood at the center of his throne chamber, hands clasped behind his back. You have done the impossible, he said. You made the Empire bleed. You murdered 99 million of my people, Helena replied. And countless others. You'll answer for all of them. Valxer tilted his head. Justice is irrelevant. Power decides fate. He reached for a hidden console. Helena fired. Her shot struck his arm, severing it before he could trigger the planet-killer failsafe. He staggered, eyes burning with hatred. You creatures dare! Helena's second shot ended his words. Silence washed across the room. Ghost's voice came through the comm. Failsafe disabled. The planet is secure. Helena exhaled for the first time in hours. It's over, Hale said. No, Helena replied, staring at the fallen Emperor. It's just beginning. Now we rebuild the galaxy they broke. 3 days later, Helena stood before a universal broadcast. This is Admiral Helena Riker of Earth. Justice has been delivered. Humanity rises, not as conquerors, but as survivors who refuse to die. Across the stars, countless worlds watched the Empire fall, and a new era begin.